someone with swine flu comes to school with swine flu, then we're all going to get swine flu.
We all know we've been hard hit by swine flu, but what do we really know about it? This is what one student has to say about it.
I think swine flu is like a really weird species of pig. I'd say a super pig that has wings. And you know that expression, like when pigs fly? Well, swine flu. So, and, they gave the pigs a Red Bull, okay? And Red Bull gives you wings, so these pigs got a hold of Red Bull, and they got wings, and now they're flying and they're taking over the world. The end.
Now, this response was slightly worrying, to say the least. So I decided to ask Nurse Kim a couple of questions about the realities of swine flu. Hi, Nurse Kim. What are the symptoms of swine flu?
You would have some respiratory symptoms. That's the difference between the swine flu and the regular flu. The swine flu, you would have cough, a high fever, but that you would have with the regular flu also. But the main difference is the cough and the respiratory symptoms.
So does that make it more dangerous than seasonal flu?
It's more dangerous than the seasonal flu because of the population that it's hitting. It's striking more in younger people, like your age. So up to like 26, 30 years old. So that's what makes it more serious, because you guys don't have that immunity to this type or this strain of the flu, whereas older people, older than say 30, 35, they feel that we've been around long enough, so we've built up at least some kind of immunity that we can fight it off. So that's why it's more serious, is because of who it's striking.
So how can we, the ones who are more prone to getting it, how can we avoid getting it first?
The best thing you can do is get the vaccine if you can find it, if it's available. It's hard to come by. The vaccine, and then the same things that you would do to prevent any other illness or disease. It's good hand washing. Don't share things. Don't share your water bottles. Don't share eating utensils, food, anything that has your respiratory secretions on.
Yeah, it's hard for
and it's hard for any teenage population. When you cough, you know, don't cough so that the germs go out into the air. You cough into your bent elbow is the best way to cough, so you contain those secretions. If you're sick, stay home so you don't spread the germs. And good hand washing, really good hand washing. If you can't wash your hands, the hand sanitizer is the next best thing.
So would you consider swine flu an epidemic?
No. In fact, yesterday they just came out with saying that they think that it's hit its peak.
Really?
Yeah, and they're seeing the numbers drop now, which is actually what I've seen here at school. Is
yes.
There were several weeks in October where we were pretty high with absences. In the last 2 weeks, we've been much lower. We're almost like back to normal now. So, no, I wouldn't say it's an epidemic. I mean, you know, the seasonal flu has kills more people than the swine flu has. It's just that you don't hear about those numbers every year. So, I kind of think more of it. My personal opinion is, I think it's the media has created it as an epidemic. I think the numbers are showing that.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Thank you, Nurse Kim.
You're welcome.
I then asked Mrs. Ivey similar questions. Here's what I found out. Hello, Mrs. Ivey.
Hello, how are you, Marianne?
I'm good.
Good.
So, I have a couple questions for you about swine flu.
Okay.
So, what is swine flu, a bacteria or a virus?
Swine flu is a virus. It's an influenza A virus.
Okay. So what is the best way to combat it?
The best way to combat it would be to good hygiene, hand washing with soap and water, which I know Nurse Kim is telling us all the time. In fact,
She
just
has.
today she did. There's also a vaccine available. Have you had the vaccine?
No, I have
No.
not.
I have not had the vaccine either, but there is a vaccine available. If you do have any symptoms, flu-related symptoms, it's best to stay home from school so that you don't spread to other people. So really the same way that you would prevent the common cold would be the best way to prevent or combat swine flu.
That makes it easier. So does hand sanitizer actually work against swine flu?
Yes, it really does. I would say if you have the availability to use soap and water, that would be your best choice. But if that's unavailable, the alcohol-based hand sanitizers are effective as well.
So do you think swine flu is an epidemic?
I do think it's an epidemic because an epidemic just means that it occurs more than you would normally expect. And we certainly have had, and we've seen that in our own school. Not to the point some other schools had to close because the numbers were so high. But I would say it did reach an epidemic. Now I think it's sort of tapered off. I guess we have to wait and see if the vaccine's going to be effective and prevent another rise as the winter goes on.
Okay, well, that's good to know, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
As you can see, there are some things about swine flu of which we are woefully ignorant, and some we've known all along. Hopefully, Notre Dame will stay a happy, healthy community.